All right, let's have a look at the 4-hour Clouds endurance flight here. Auto launch for the takeoff, of course. This thing being a twin-engine airplane has tons of power for takeoff. It could easily be hand launched with a heavy payload on board. Let's see here. A lot of the electronics are the exact same from the Talon. In fact, I've copied a lot of the settings over from the Talon's flight controller, including the OSD layout, which, in case you haven't seen that video, we have number of satellites at the top left, wind speed, airspeed, ground speed, direction and distance to home, flight mode. We have flight minutes in the top middle, milliampere hours consumed in the top right, number of amps being pulled, battery voltage, altitude, distance across the ground, and throttle. So you might have noticed in some of those clips that I was breaking the 400-foot ceiling. Something interesting to point here, when I do touch down, you can see that there's a pretty big offset or bias in the altitude. It's saying that I'm still have 51, 52 feet of altitude here. Anyway, the good news is that I did not break the 400-foot ceiling, so nice. Anyway, here's the picture of the plane. Twin-engine V-tail, beautiful design, super sleek. I really like it. 12 by 8 propellers, leaving almost an inch of clearance between the tip and the fuselage. Here's a view from the other side. You can see that little tiny BN220 GPS mounted there, and the same 600 milliwatt 5.8 gigahertz video transmitter on the tail. Here's the belly. You can see the 2 slots for the ESCs. You can see some lights. You can see the center of gravity stickers. I just used the book's recommendation. There's a strip of LEDs like a mohawk across the top middle that plugs into a balance lead. I'll connect that if I'm going to fly into the evening. Nice big battery bay, super user-friendly airplane. There's a hatch behind that where the flight controller lives and the receiver and most of the wires. There's another hatch underneath that where you can put some other stuff like a parachute, stuff like that. A lot of the electronics are the exact same, like the receiver, the camera, video transmitter, flight controller. So since both this plane and the 5-hour Talon use this same battery, we can kind of compare some apples to oranges here. I know they're different planes, but at least apples and oranges are both fruit, so we'll draw the best comparisons that we can here. The Talon flew for 25% longer, which is certainly impressive, and that's despite only using 77% of the battery compared to the 90% of the battery that I used on that Clouds flight. I was really pushing it to get 4 hours. Efficiency is there's a lot of ways to calculate it, but I calculated it as miles across the ground per amp hour, and it's 18% higher for the Talon, and that's despite the wind. It was quite windy when I was flying the Talon, so very impressive numbers there. And the next one where the Talon shows off again is average amps. 6.9 average amps during the flight compared to the 10.2. That's 32% less current than what the Clouds was pulling during its flight. Some of that can probably be attributed to the power system difference. Both spinning 12-inch props, but the Talon had more pitch and a slightly lower KV. So my plan for the next test is to put the same battery into the Phoenix 2400 and see how long I can get that one to fly. Thanks for watching.